On this episode, we finish our series on what we'd do if we were in charge of Bangkok for a day.
So if you've ever wondered what the city would look like if Greg were in charge, you'll dig this episode of the Bangkok podcast.
Sawadee krap, this is the Bangkok Podcast. My name is Greg Jorgensen, a Canadian who came to Bangkok in 2001 on a mission to hoard those sweet, sweet 50 baht notes and open a grey market bank that only gives change in 50s. And I'm still hoarding.
Man, 50s are like gold.
Going right here, see that? See that?
Love it. Love it.
Love them.
And I met Knuth, an American who came to Thailand on a one-year teaching contract over 25 years ago. Fell in love with trying to come up with theories to explain why you couldn't buy alcohol between the hours of 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. in Thailand, so I never left.
Well, now they've repealed the law. I guess you don't have to worry about it. You can go home.
It's still a mystery. So it's still a mystery why you were never able to buy booze between 2 and 5. But yes, today, as we talked about on the bonus show, today is the very first day where they repealed this 50-year-old law. So good riddance, I say.
Guess what I'm doing tomorrow between the hours of 2 and 5?
There you go. You're going to go to 7-Eleven. You're going to buy booze.
No, I'll be sitting in front of the computer at work typing away. But after that, I'm going to buy booze.
All right. We want to give a big thanks to all of our patrons who support the show. Patrons get every episode a day early, behind-the-scenes photos of our interviews, a heads up to send questions to upcoming guests, and access to our Discord server to chat with me, Greg, and other listeners around the world. But best of all, patrons also get an unscripted, uncensored bonus episode every week where we riff on current events and Bangkok topics. On this week's bonus show, we chatted about the sudden but very welcome change, nay, abolishment of the 5-decade-old law prohibiting buying alcohol between the hours of 2 and 5, a report on Greg's visit to the Surin Elephant Festival last week, a check-in on our health status before both of us attempt the vertical marathon on December 14th, and a very queasy news of the weird that just so happened to be something that I experienced myself. To learn how to become a patron and get all this good stuff, plus full access to over 800 bonus and regular back episodes, click the support button at the top of our website.
That's right. And like we always say, if you have a comment, a show idea, or just want to say hi, head to BangkokPodcast.com, click the little microphone button on the bottom right and leave us a voicemail. We'll play that on the show. And also don't forget, if you are oot and a boot in Bangkok and see a Bangkok Podcast sticker, take a picture. Send us 3 pictures of 3 different stickers and we will send you a pretty nice gift, if I do say so myself. We got a comment from our pal BKK Vuk on Discord who's saying, by the way, I still haven't seen a sticker around town. And I told
He hasn't even seen one?
I haven't even seen one, and I was telling him, well, you got to get around more, man. I've been putting them up all over the place.
Got to keep looking. Just got to keep looking.
All right, well, in this episode, we are doing the sequel to episode 54 of season 7. On that episode, way back in January of 2025, Ed pondered what he'd do if he was in charge of Thailand. Whether by some legal loophole or straight up magic, he came up with some ideas that, in his opinion, would make life a little bit easier for everyone who lives here. And now, just under a year later, it is my turn. So I've put together 8 things that have caught my eye over the past little while that I think would be a big step forward in everything from city living to the environment to giving people what they want, massages. So this is a good idea of yours, Ed. And it's funny if we could snap our fingers and be in charge for a day, what we would change. And I mean, of course, I would put $1 billion in my bank account first, but that's not what we're focusing on. We want to drill down a little bit and talk specifically about changes we'd make to Bangkok.
I can't even remember what mine were. Did you copy any of mine?
No, actually, you know what? I didn't. I'm too lazy / didn't have time to go back and listen to the episode.
I don't remember.
That you did. I don't remember either. But
Okay,
I'm sure they all
see.
made sense.
Oh, they were genius, I'm sure.
I'm sure. But listeners, if you want to go back and listen to that episode, like I said, episode 54 of season 7, which was in January, I think, of 2025. So, I've got 8 things, and, not all of them are earth-shaking. None of them are going to change the world, but I would like to see these implemented in some shape or form. And I'm just going to go through the list. And Ed, you're going to give me your feedback and tell me if I'm right or even more right.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and it would be a significant investment, but I think it would really, really help a lot of people. I think that they should put bike lanes underneath all of the BTS and electric train lines, the elevated train lines.
What do you mean? What do you mean under the BTS? You don't mean on the ground. You mean so in the elevated bike lane?
Well, that's why it would be a significant investment, because once you get further out of town, some of the train lines go over like dirt roads or even just grass or something like that. So those can be on the ground. But obviously, once you get in town, you wouldn't be able to do it over every single kilometer of the train line. But where you can, I think it's unused real estate. Why not put a 2-lane bike path underneath the footprint of the
I think it would be awesome. I totally agree with this. Obviously, in certain places, in many places downtown, you have walkways under the BTS. So if you can have walkways, you could have bike lanes. So I agree. I feel like the city very slowly gets more friendly for bikers. Both you and I are bikers. I'm not quite as avid as you are, but I like it. I like making the city more bike friendly because it's very dangerous for bicycles in the city because there are not great bike lanes everywhere. Like I said, It's getting better. The Green Mile is now opening up to have a longer straight bike path. There's been some changes to the bike lanes along Klong San Sap. But yeah, man, if they put them under the BTS, that would be sweet. I say I vote yes.
Yeah, I think so too. And they every few years, some politician comes out with a big push to make Bangkok more bike friendly, but none of it matters if they still restrict the hours within which you can take the trains, with which you can take the bikes on the train. And right now you can take bikes on the train. It's ridiculous. It's like between 6 and 8 a.m. and like 9 and 11 p.m. or something. Like it doesn't make any sense at all. It's totally useless. It might as well not even exist. So until they change those laws, there's got to be something else. And I figure since we're not allowed to take our bikes on the trains, why not take them underneath the trains?
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
All right. Now, the second one, I don't know. This is just an idea I have. This would probably take a lot of time and effort to implement. But I think that a percentage of revenue from ticketing for traffic and civil violations would go back into police department budgets for equipment, road safety programs, and community education, but never into an officer's salary. What do you think of that?
I like it. I've always hated, this happens in the States too, where the police sometimes get a windfall. Like if they bust a bunch of drug dealers and seize money, sometimes that local department gets a windfall from that. And it's never been clear to me if officers are compensated. Like I don't think officers should get bonuses for that. But like you said, if they could use the revenue to improve facilities, improve training, improve education, I would agree with that. But I wonder if they, this actually doesn't sound like that of an extreme idea. Are you sure they don't do some of this already? I mean, where does the revenue go from traffic tickets? I mean, maybe it already goes into the police budget.
That's a very good point, and it may very well do that. I might just be speaking out of my ass here, but originally I thought that because two things are true here. First of all, is that in Canada, if you break the law and a cop sees you, he'll stop you. Doesn't matter what his beat is. He's a law enforcement officer to stop him. Here, it's like a traffic cop is not going to stop someone for they're not going to stray outside of their boundaries, their lane. They're only a traffic cop. And the second thing is that police are very underpaid here. So originally, I thought we should put the revenue generated from ticketing back into the policeman's salary. But then I thought about it a bit more and I was like, no, that's just ripe for corruption.
Yeah.
But I did a little bit of digging, and there are countries like Canada, Singapore, and Korea are 3 standouts. So what they do is they basically put the money back into budgets for improving the city. And ChatGPT gave me this sentence. It says, this creates an incentive to enforce laws properly without encouraging predatory behavior. Police rewards are tied to metrics like fewer accidents, increased response times, and perceived safety by people in their neighborhoods, but not by how many tickets are issued. So if you tie these rewards to good measurements, then that's the incentive for police to be sort of more on the ball.
Right. It's a little bit too risky to make it a volume business because then they're going to be ticky-tacky about it and you know, like you said, predatory, which you don't want that.
Right, exactly. And that's funny, as I was talking back and forth with ChatGPT about this, it was like flashing red warning, never tie police bonuses to the number of tickets issued. This is bad. Yes. Yeah.
No, I like it. I think there's a chance Thailand could be doing it, but if not, it does sound like a good idea.
Yeah, it may very well already be in place, and maybe it's an even better system than what I came up with. So if it is, then bonus. The third one is very similar, but it's for polluters. Now, I put this list together over the past few months, and I put in a similar system for polluters where if you're caught polluting the environment based on several factors, then you have to pay a fine, which then gets put back into things like, you know, beautification projects, tree planting, park upkeep, and stuff like that. But funnily enough, this sort of just happened with Thailand's clean air bill, which came into effect in November of 2025, which was just last month. And there's still some dickering and some dithering back and forth over how it's going to be implemented and how powerfully and things like that. But the bill prescribes civil, criminal, and administrative penalties with fines as high as 50 million baht.
So basically, they already took your advice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they implemented it in a much more professional way. and it says that alternative disputes and compensation mechanisms are also built in to reduce litigation delays. So that's good. And, you know, in previous shows, I think we've had Kun Weena from the Thailand Clean Air Network on 2 times in the past. And she was heavily involved in this. Maybe we'll have her back on.
No, this sounds like a great idea. This is also kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like if you're a polluter, then you have to pay for, and it's not just paying a fine, because, you know, if you're a giant company and you're fined, you know, $5 million, then $5 million just becomes the fee for breaking those laws, you know.
Right, that's exactly right, sure.
You know, but if the fee becomes higher and it's pushed back into city beautification projects, win-win.
Agreed.
Yeah. The fourth one is a huge investment in Bangkok's sidewalks.
Okay, before we get into this, so
all right,
my immediate thought is there really enough space? Like on many streets, there's almost no sidewalks, but what can you do about that if there's literally no space?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you know, I remember when we did our neighborhood focus episodes, we were talking about Ari, where I used to live. And sometimes there's no sidewalks. It's just like your shoulder is rubbing a brick wall and cars are flying by your other shoulder, you know?
Right. So that's also true in, you know, the hip, what is it, Songwat, the Songwat neighborhood. Yeah. Right. Super narrow sidewalks there. And so it's just packed with people, but it's all single file. So yeah. I'm not sure there's much you can do with that. But you're right. Even in areas where there's enough space for sidewalks, they're often in pretty bad, like, disrepair.
Right. And it never used to bother me, honestly, but now I'm getting a little bit older, a little bit more frail in my old age. You know, I can easily roll an ankle. Actually, one of my colleagues just rolled her ankle the other day, and she's been on, you know, hobbling around the office for a week just out walking.
It happens to me once or twice a year. I haven't had a really bad one, but like a minor ankle twist, that happens to me once or twice a year.
Right. Now, the interesting thing is that our buddy James Clark at Future Southeast Asia, former guest on the show and a good friend of mine, he's written a whole series of articles about the benefits that an expansive, reliable sidewalk network brings to a city. And he was talking in his blog posts about how it's not a quick fix, it's a multi-year or even, he said, a generational improvement. So it's like a long-term strategy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, but, anything that made, you know, the thing about sidewalks, obviously, is they create more neighborhoods, or it allows people to walk more easily, which is just makes things more community driven.
Exactly. And so I went through some of his newsletters and I summed it up and I said, sidewalks signal a city that values people, not just cars. They promote human interaction, exploration, and time spent exploring more than just passing through. They increase economic activity, safety, inclusive access, and are a low-cost way to improve overall quality of life.
Agreed. Great idea.
Yeah, I think it's good. Number 5, I know you're going to have a lot to say about this. Pretty easy. Just get rid of the satang, the coins.
Agree 100%. This is great. I mean, we're all these ideas are good, and I feel. Did I mention the satang? Like, I hate the U.S. penny. I remember when I was in law school, basically 30 years ago, I was arguing with my fellow students about how like the U.S. should get rid of the penny. I was on that bandwagon 30 years ago. The satang is so small and it's basically worthless.
Yeah. For those that don't know, there's two satang coins. There's a 0.5 baht and a 0.25 baht satang coin.
They both need to be eliminated.
Yeah. 0.25 baht, that wouldn't even buy you like a shoelace. Like it's just a tiny amount of money. I don't understand. Yeah. Get rid of them.
Get rid of them.
And number 6 is something that I've wanted for a long time, and I'm really sensitive to this, and my son actually is especially sensitive to this kind of stuff, which is funny. He's like Wolverine in this regard. But if we call a taxi or a Grab, or if I call a taxi or a Grab, and I open the door and the guy has just put out a cigarette, like, I hate it. Reeks. Stinks. So I would like to put a no smoking option in the Grab app or on any taxi hailing apps.
Interesting. I've got a buddy who is super sensitive to smoke as well. I think because I grew up with two parents who smoked in-house, that I developed, probably shaved 10 years off my life. But it doesn't particularly bother me. But you're certainly right on principle, and there are a lot of sensitive people out there.
Yeah, me included. And it doesn't like affect me, like my allergies don't act up or anything. I just think it reeks. Like you might as well just let a ripper fart go before someone gets in the car. It's the same effect. Like I get in and I'm like, oh God, it just stinks so bad. And then it gets on my clothes and stuff. Like the guy doesn't even have to be smoking, but it's very, very noticeable. So I would love to be able to be like, boop, no smoking.
I think Grab, you should make a suggestion. I mean, it seems common sense to me.
Yeah, I think so. You can on Grab, you can ask for a female driver, can't you?
I think that's right. I think you can.
Yeah. Little side note: years ago, when I was taking the buses to get to work every day, I was standing on the side waiting for a bus one time, and a bus pulls up, my bus, and I get on, and the guy pushed me off, and I was like, what the hell? I'm like, what is this racist bullshit?
Right.
Like, immediately went to that, right? And so I got all mad, and I was talking to someone, and they're like, oh, it was probably a women-only bus.
I didn't even know they had that.
I don't know if they do still, but this was 20 years ago. Like back then they did. And I saw the same bus again. And there was a sign on the front that I didn't even notice the first time. And it said lady bus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen that. That's funny.
Yeah. I stepped on, the guy was like, nope, and pushed me off. Or the woman, I guess. There's no men on the bus.
So they're not racist. They're not racist. They just hate men.
Yeah. That's better, isn't it?
It was a radical feminist bus.
We probably deserved it. Anyway, no smoking in Grab or taxi hailings. Man, we're going through these quite quick. Number 7, free or very cheap massage chairs in shopping malls.
Well, I love massages. I like massage chairs. But what would be the incentive? So obviously this is a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
But what's the incentive to give this away? Why does it matter?
Well, I put this in here for a few reasons. First of all, I think Thailand's public spaces really lack places to sit. BTS stations, subway stations, malls. And if they do have places to sit, there's not enough of them, and they're usually crappy, hard plastic chairs. So,
yeah, I think that's true. A lot of the malls, obviously they have seating. They'll have seating in the food court, but basically almost nowhere else. So this happens to me in a mall if I'm tired, if I want to sit down, or if to message someone. And you're right. It's hard to find a place to sit down.
Right. And I'm a fairly, I wouldn't say I'm fit, but I'm an active overweight guy. But I've got back problems. I've got disc problems in my back. And I can walk all day, but one thing that really kills my back is standing. If I stand for 30 minutes, I'm in a lot of pain without moving. And what eases that is sitting down. I sit down for 10 minutes and I'm fine. I'm good to go. But a lot of times I'm walking around malls, I'm standing waiting for my wife or my son or whatever, and my back is killing me and there's just no places to sit.
Agreed.
Now, that plus the fact that I'm not a big massage guy, but I do love a good massage chair. And I figured that if you put free...
So you like the chairs more than a physical massage by a person?
Yeah, because for me, it's twofold. A, it lets me sit down and take the weight off my back. And also it's a nice relaxing massage, which I enjoy. I don't enjoy the real massages for some reason, but anyway, so I think that malls should see this as an investment. And I put this into ChatGPT and I said, what benefit would this bring to a mall? And summarizing what it replied, it said it would let people relax and spend more time in the mall. It brings people into lesser trafficked areas of the mall, increases feelings of hospitality, and adds a lifestyle and health element to a mall visit while taking care of seniors and those with mobility issues, which sadly probably includes me for standing around.
I like it. I'm a huge massage guy, so I couldn't argue with free or cheap massage chairs.
Yeah, like I said, malls should think of it as an investment in keeping its patrons comfortable and in the mall longer where they can spend more money.
That's right. And Thais do love malls.
Another win-win. And my last one is something that occurred to me while I was up at the Elephant Festival. And, we've all seen elephants in zoos. We've seen elephants in Thailand. They're a bit easier to find here. But, I mean, if Thailand is really serious about promoting its soft power around the world, they should put a lot of emphasis onto a national program of tree planting specifically to rehabilitate wild elephant habitats.
I don't know much. I know they have wild elephant habitats, but do you think there's a shortage of these or there's not enough?
I'm sure they do, and I'm sure there are people who are promoting that, and maybe there are even initiatives in place to rebuild wild elephants habitats, which is a great thing. But I just think it should be a bit more structured and a bit more focused on the soft power thing, because they want to do the soft power thing. Use elephants, man. Like they used to be on our favorite Thai flag, right? The elephant is.
It's funny. It's funny you brought this up because obviously it's a good thing that there are not elephants in the city anymore, like there were back in the day when we got here. So there's no doubt that's a good thing, but it does actually take them out of your mind. It's like you have to go fairly far outside the city. It's not like it's just I don't think about them as much anymore. So you're right. If they had more elephant habitats, elephant like refuge, and like even if they were just like outside of Bangkok, but you could go see elephants like you saw in Surin,
right?
That would be cool. Obviously, there's a lot of elephant conservation, and Thai people love elephants. But I do feel like they've kind of receded into the background to some extent.
Oh, that's an interesting take. Yeah, I never thought of that. Out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah. But you're right. It is a type of soft power.
Yeah, I think so. And it would be good for the elephants. It'd be good for the environment. It'd be good for tourism dollars. It would make Thailand look great. Like who doesn't love a country investing in natural habitats to, prop up the environments of their national animal. So
I agree with all 8 of these things. We just need about $10 billion to do it.
Yeah. And of course, me in charge, which are two fairly significant barriers. I do have one last bonus point that I want to talk about. And again, this is utilizing the BTS and the elevated train systems. I think that they should put some money into painting the underside of the train tracks.
I think we have mentioned this before. I like graffiti, and I realize graffiti and kind of urban art, it does have to be regulated. It can be out of control. It can be foul. It can be rude. Right. So it would have to be regulated. And I think for it to be a real community thing, you would have to have some. I'm not sure you want to have things like part of it is that you want it to be recycled or have new artists do stuff. So you'd have to you'd have to come up with some kind of system, but there's so much blank space.
Yeah, and
like
it's ugly.
On
it's
all
just,
of those. You're right. It's just solid cement, gray cement.
Right, miles of gray cement where nothing grows underneath because it's blocking off those, just cement over top of dirt.
That's right.
Or a bike path. But I figure, like, while these pieces are at the construction yard or whatever, waiting to be installed or put into place, have some kind of program where you get notable artists or graffiti artists and come around.
Yeah, for sure.
And they can do it. And once they're put in place, it's not like some random street tagger can get a ladder and climb 30 meters up to the bottom of it and paint over it.
I see your point. I was thinking, I get your point. They are actually pretty hard to access. So maybe you would have to paint them as part of the construction process.
That's what I was thinking.
But it would definitely make the city look a lot better.
Right. And I'm not saying it would be super beautiful, but it would at least be a bit more colorful and a bit more.
Yeah.
Just it's like an anti-drab measure.
I like that. Anti-drab.
Anti-drab.
That can be your slogan if you become a politician. Greg,
elect me,
anti-drab.
The anti-drab governor.
That's great. Dude, these ideas are, I almost said they're better than I thought they would be.
Thanks, man.
But no, really, these are all good ideas.
Yeah, all right. Well, I will start my election campaign as soon as that citizenship comes through, and we'll get started.
That's right. I think in my memory, I think mine were more political. Didn't I talk about stuff like building prisons and stuff? I think I mentioned building prisons.
Yes, I remember that was one too. All great suggestions.
All right. Well, maybe we can basically the Bangkok podcast. Maybe it'll be one of those governor for a month. The Bangkok podcast will take over the Bangkok governorship for a month. We'll be a team governors.
Oh, nice. Our theme song could be "Born to Run" by Bruce Springsteen. So we were born to run. All right, let's do something we call Would You Rather, where one of us picks two contrasting situations tied to Thailand to debate and choose which one we'd prefer. And Ed, I'm going to ask you something pretty straightforward this week. Now, you're from Ohio, which is pretty close to Canada. Does it touch Canada?
Well, there's a lake in between. So Lake Erie is in between. So across the lake, so if you got on a boat and went across the lake, then it would touch. So it touches water that touches Canada.
Right. But halfway at the Canadian border, the water immediately turns into ice. So you'd have to.
That's right. And people are playing hockey and drinking maple syrup. It's really weird.
So you know what a cold winter is like.
I do.
Yeah. And I do too, of Canada. And it ain't fun. I still have PTSD about getting out of the shower and putting my foot onto some cold tiles and starting up your car. And it goes. It just sucks. Anyway, so in Canada and Ohio, I imagine there's probably several weeks of the year, maybe even longer, where it's just really unsafe to be outside for any stretch of time. The mirror to that is that right now in Bangkok, the air quality is not very good. It's also generally considered unsafe to be outside or exercising outside for any stretch of time. So my question is, would you rather live in an environment where you are encouraged to stay inside because of cold or encouraged to stay inside because of pollution?
Oh, wow. This is actually a tough one because I've mentioned before that I've gotten totally used to living in warm weather. And last year when I was back in December, I had a great time. The snow was beautiful, but I hated the cold. Like I've become a wimp, like someone who grew up in Florida. That's how I feel now. But I also have bad allergies, and the last couple of days, the air quality has been horrible, and my nose has been running. So this is a tough call. I think I would probably choose the cold only because I fear that Bangkok pollution is shaving years off my life. You know what I mean? It's like I'm afraid. I'm just afraid I'm breathing in smog and the pollutants and PM 2.5, and so I definitely enjoy being here better, even if the pollution is bad. I hate the cold now, but it's just the air pollution. I think it's poison, man. We're breathing in poison.
Yeah, you're right. I can't argue with that, but it's also like all of the associated things that come with. Like, even if you are breathing in poison, you can still live life normally. That's right. All the activities, all the social events, everything, most of them take place indoors, and it all continues as normal.
So we're going to live a shorter life, but it will be more fun here.
Right. But all the associated knock-on effects of winter, like traffic accidents, it takes you longer to get anywhere.
True that.
You can't go outside.
I have voted with my feet, so I do live here, and I don't want to go back there. There was like during that the air pollution apocalypse, whenever that was, like 6-7 years ago.
Right.
It almost got so bad in Bangkok that I thought I might have to leave, but luckily it's gotten a little bit better since then. But man, we've been in a bad spell the last few days.
This one's really hard for me, actually. I would probably choose to live in cold as well, because you just switch to your winter mode and life can continue, but it's less enjoyable and less easy to avoid.
Yeah, I mean, it's really an impossible question. I mean, I've basically, by living here, I've already voted for warm weather, and I've been putting up with air pollution. But air pollution is air pollution is worse than cold weather. But living in cold weather with all the stuff that you've mentioned is definitely worse than being in Bangkok.
This is a real coin flip, this one.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I would probably choose the cold for health reasons.
Yeah, probably me too. I wouldn't like it.
That's right. Alrighty, a final thanks to our patrons who support the show. Patrons get a ton of cool perks and the warm, fuzzy feeling knowing that they're helping in our never-ending quest for cool content. Find out more by clicking support on our website and connect with us online. We're Bangkok Podcast on social media, bangkokpodcast.com on the web, or simply bangkokpodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from our listeners and always reply to our messages.
That's right. You can also listen to each episode on YouTube. Send us a voicemail through our website that will feature on the show. Find me on Blue Sky, BKK Greg. Thank you for listening, folks, and we will see you back here next week.
No doubt.
A
Boom, baby.
And a 2 and a 3.
I'm watching the Beatles anthology, which is an old documentary that got refurbished and the audio cleaned up by Peter Jackson, and it's pretty damn good. I think I saw it in the 90s, but it's been re-released and upgraded. It's great.
You know, this is par for the course for me, and you're probably going to think I'm an ignoramus, a troglodyte even, but beyond their hits, I don't really get the Beatles. I understand why they were important, but they don't really appeal to me. I don't see any genius there.
There are some stars that I don't think they deserve the fame, and I might have gone through a phase like that with the Beatles, but I'm now on the Beatles bandwagon. Now because I watched, Peter Jackson did. Another documentary about them that was a new one, I think, called Get Back, that I loved, and then so now I'm rewatching Anthology. I think they deserve it. I think they're right. Elvis. You can make a better argument is overrated just because he didn't write. I don't think he wrote any of his songs. So he's more of Elvis.
Really,
Elvis is more of a look and a character. But the Beatles were crazy good musicians and songwriters.
Even Ringo?
Ringo, he didn't write a lot of songs, but he wrote some. But he could sing. They all could sing. George Harrison wrote something, something in the way she moves, which a lot of people consider that their favorite Beatles song was written by George Harrison.
Really?
And the sheer number of hits they have is shocking. I mean, they have 30 like totally memorable songs that everyone on planet Earth knows. Like 30.
Sure. Twist and Shout is one of my favorite songs. And, a couple of those really love Hey Jude and a few others. But beyond that, I'm just kind of shrugging at them.
Okay. You are a Philistine.
But Philistine, yeah. It's from the same guy that shrugs his shoulders at The Godfather and Big Lebowski as well. So. My track record is not great. All right.